It's time for a GGSP Let's Play, and today I'm checking out Taiko no Tatsujin Drum and Fun, a music rhythm game based on the super popular Taiko drum arcade machines, which can be found in pretty much every arcade in Japan. In fact, if you caught our special ep last week, you would have seen Gem drumming away on one of them. Look at her go. But how do you drum on a Switch, I hear you ask? Well, it turns out there's actually quite a few different methods, so I'm going to jump in, check them all out, and find out which one makes me a true Taiko no Tatsujin, which I learned translates to Drum Master. I have my traditional Hachimaki headband. Let's do this.
Taiko no Tatsujin Nintendo Switch version.
So first off is controller mode, which maps the drum skin and the rim of the drum to the buttons on the controller, so you can play docked on your TV. Okay, drum, rim. Oh, double? Okay, so the big ones are a double hit. All right, here we go. Good drum roll face, I'm assuming. Double. New high score! So controller works pretty well. But what if you're missing the rhythmic feeling of drumming a beat? Well, then you can undock the unit and tap away at the bottom of the screen using touch controls. You need two fingers. Oh. Whoa! Woo! So tapping on the screen does feel a bit more like drumming, but to step it up, I can remove the Joy-Cons and use motion controls to simulate using drumsticks. It feels a bit silly because I'm not hitting anything. Good tune. And finally, we've managed to get our hands on a Taiko drum controller that can be plugged into the Switch dock. Now, these are a little tricky to find because they haven't arrived on our shores just yet. So for now, I'm just going to see if playing a mini drum feels at all like the real thing. Wish me luck. Okay. Drumming. It's working. Ah. Oh. Drum roll! Yes! Yes! No! Yes! Yes! Combo's still going. No! Ah! So that was a look at the different drumming modes of Taiko no Tatsujin Drum and Fun on the Switch. And the first thing that really stood out to me is how they've managed to make the act of hitting a single drum so incredibly complex, but at the same time a lot of fun. You're not just hitting single beats in time with the song. There are rolls, double hits, edge taps, and they're all simple enough on their own, but once the song starts throwing them all in together, you can see that there's some real skill to it. As for the different types of controls, well, they each had their own pros and cons, but at the end of the day, it was actually the touch controls that won me over. Next to using buttons on a handheld controller, it was the most accurate at responding to my input. But unlike using a controller, it still kind of gives the sensation of playing an actual drum, which is kind of half the fun. The Joy-Cons and the drum kit, on the other hand, looked and felt the most authentic, but they would often miss or misinterpret my hand motions, or more annoyingly, would register a hit where there was none. A big problem in a game all about racking up combos. Speaking of the music, it's such a crazy mixed bag of Japanese, pop, anime themes, even some video game tunes as well.
It's time to jump up in the
which you might not think would work with a taiko drum, but surprisingly, it turns out everything works with the taiko drum. And while personally I can't speak a word of Japanese, all the songs are so catchy with high energy and cute vocals. The whole thing is an undeniably Japanese experience. And one that I will definitely come back to keep playing, even if it's just to master a few of my new favourite tracks. Speaking of which, I now think I'm truly ready to test my new taiko skills. Begin expert mode! Oh no, oh no!